It's now time for the changing weather. Hurricane Humberto, major Hurricane Humberto, close to Category 5 as I'm recording this, and Tropical Storm Imelda is forming, threatening the southeast United States coast, but a curve out to sea is likely. Let's take a look and see what is going on. All right, this is the September 27th, 2025 report by Weather 2020, our tropical insights. Whoa, look at that. In fact, let's take this full screen so you can really see it well. As you can see here, wow, that is earlier today when I was recording this. There's possibly, you can see the Atlantic Ocean underneath it. This is the eye wall. Here's the eye wall. This is where the strongest winds are, close to 145, 150 miles per hour, with winds gusting to 200 miles per hour around the eye wall. And you can just see the system just so well defined over the open waters of the Atlantic Ocean. There it is again, Humberto. That's what we just looked at with the visible satellite. This is the enhanced infrared. And then here is developing tropical storm Imelda. Imelda and Humberto. The tracks are forecast, as you can see here, Humberto to stay offshore as a Category 4 hurricane, maybe a Category 5 hurricane in the next 24 hours. And then it'll weaken and curve out harmlessly over the Atlantic Ocean, perhaps creating some high surf along the east coast. Tropical Storm Imelda, which was a depression when I first was recording this, and then you can see it's forecast to become a Category 1 hurricane right here. That's exactly the spot that Chantal formed, right in this spot. And then it curves out to sea, all right? So will it threaten? Yes, it's going to threaten the southeast coast from Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. But if it takes this track, just a little bit of rain and not a massive flood. However, could this change? Of course it could, so I'll watch it very closely. Here are the 4 tracks of 4 different systems that are related through the LRC. If you are new to the LRC, the weather pattern is cycling regularly. It's a major discovery in science from the 1980s, maybe dating back to the 1940s with Jerome Namias when he was discovered what's called the index cycle. But what I figured out, the weather pattern is cycling regularly. This year's pattern is about 41 days or about 6 weeks long. And look at this. Look at this right here. Here's Imelda forming. Forecast a track just like this and then curve. Here's that spot where Chantal formed. And then Chantal curved out as well, but along the coast, producing a lot of rain July 4th to 7th. But here is Imelda, which is 12 weeks after Chantal. Chantal, July 4th to 7th, and September 27th to 30th, Imelda. These are linked. Now, they're also linked to this part of the pattern. Major Hurricane Erin formed off the coast of Africa, became a major hurricane, and tracked north of the islands and curved out to sea, threatening Carolina, but it curved just in time. And Humberto, which is in progress right now, as we just saw, that massive hurricane, it's taking a track very similar to Erin. So, as you see here, Tropical Chantal, July 4th to 7th. Major Hurricane Erin, 6 weeks later, August 11th to 22nd, in the 8th cycle of this year's pattern. Major Hurricane Humberto, 6 weeks later, September 24th to current, in cycle 9, and also Imelda forming 12 weeks after Chantal and 6 weeks after Erin. All of these are related and predictable and predicted from Weather 2020. Now, that's not where it ends. 3 other systems we've had this season. Andrea happened June 23rd and 24th and formed out over the Atlantic. 42 days later, August 4th to 7th, Dexter. Not a coincidence. Takes a similar track, a little bit stronger and a little bit longer, And then 6 weeks later, Major Hurricane Gabrielle that took a long track all the way to Spain, where it's currently located now as an extratropical system. Gabrielle also 6 weeks later. You see the theme? 6 weeks, 6 weeks. So these four, Chantal, Aaron, Humberto, Imelda, and Dexter, Andrea, and Gabrielle related through the LRC. And there's more to it than that. So far this season, we've had Andrea, Barry, Chantal, Dexter, Aaron, Fernand, Gabrielle, Humberto, Imelda. The next one is Jerry. The three that have become hurricanes didn't just become hurricanes, they became major hurricanes, you can see here. And we'll see what Imelda becomes. Probably becomes a hurricane, but could it become a major after it curves out to the east over the Gulf Stream? We'll just have to see. The next one's on the list are Jerry, Karen, and Lorenzo. Look at this. A strong jet stream is forecast to develop by the Euro AI model and other models. But look at this. This model really has a powerful jet stream in the Eastern Pacific. This is completely different. All right, a massively changing weather pattern. Why do I say that? This is by October 12th. If you've been following this for years, then you know around October 5th or 6th or 7th is the beginning of the new LRC. And this is a very different weather pattern. Okay, it's still evolving and changing every day. This model keeps changing, but look at that pattern that's developing as we go into the next couple of weeks. So the LRC is about to show up. But topping the weather news continues to be these systems. More on that in Tuesday's report. So we're tracking Humberto, we're tracking Imelda, and we'll know a lot more coming up soon. So let me know if you have any questions at all. You can post them right here, and I'll try to answer them. And pretty fascinating weather pattern continues to cycle, according to LRC. I'm meteorologist Gary Lezak with Weather 2020. On Tuesday's report, we'll have a big update talking about the changes we get so much closer as we're moving towards October. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you for watching The Changing Weather.